What's up, YouTube? Big Daddy here. It's time for another episode of Cooking with Big Daddy. What are we cooking today? We're cooking, what are we cooking, mystery guest? White Castle Casserole. White Castle Casserole. You know, the funny thing is, it doesn't have any White Castles in it. It's just made with similar ingredients to White Castles. But that's what it's called, the White Castle Casserole. One of the first things we need to do is brown up some ground beef. And so we're browning up some ground beef. And in the ground beef, we have mixed up this Aldi brand onion soup mix to flavor up our beef. And the recipe calls for 2 pounds
and 2 packages
of ground beef and 2 packages of the onion soup mix.
One box.
So we'll be back with the next step in a little bit. All right, our meat is browned. So next up is going to be putting the croissant in the pan. All this is
crescent rolls.
Pillsbury crescent rolls. The dough laid flat on the bottom of the pan, and you spread it out. We've oiled the pan with cooking spray.
You're supposed to.
Just to make sure that nothing sticks.
You're supposed to try to seal the seams, but...
What is our next step?
Put the ground beef on and the condiments.
So this is the second step, well, the third step. After you brown the ground beef and you lay out your dough, and you put a layer of ground beef in the pan. You want to cover the whole thing.
For doing pickles and mustard. Says you can add ketchup if you want. I'm not doing ketchup.
Alright, so that looks good. Now we're going to add our pickles. Notice our classy Digimon plate.
Nobody said you had to film the Digimon plate.
Hey, we have kids. That's what you have. Kid plates. It works. So you get a nice coating of chopped up dill pickles. There we go. All right, the next step is it the cheese or the mustard? Mustard. And this is, you know, you guys can see now that you're resembling
I'm not gonna do a ton.
a White Castle burger.
Do you want more? Or?
As much as you think. Yeah, whatever you want to do. That's good. That should be good. There you go. Just give it some classic White Castle flavor.
I don't think there's mustard on White Castle.
No, we're using Kraft slices. You could use any American cheese you want to use. This is what we happen to have at the time. The whole idea of this is it's supposed to be a low-cost filling dinner anybody can make really easy.
It's actually just supposed to mimic a White Castle taste.
Yeah.
For people who don't have White Castles.
I see. That makes sense.
Because that's what I
Now,
do.
do we add the other crescent roll dough on the top then? And then you chop it, you cut it up, and it's like a little, sort of like White Castle cheeseburgers. But they're loose meat, so.
White Castles aren't a far stretch.
White Castle sloppy joes.
You don't know anything.
What?
You don't know anything.
Oh, I do. Okay, so we've got our cheese all covering everything, covering the pickles, the mustard, and the crescent on the bottom. And now we're gonna beat up the next crescent roll tube.
That's how I open them.
This is how we do it. Whack! And then you just lay it out on top. This will be the tricky one. Getting it all spread out with all the stuff on top of it, yeah. If anyone can do it, the mystery guest can do it. She's got the skills.
No, she doesn't.
Bear does not have the skills. Bear just has the skills to make noise. Alright, now what do we put it on? Put it in the oven for 350 for how long?
15 to 20 minutes.
15 to 20 minutes. We'll be back then. Alright, everybody. The White Castle casserole is done. It's out of the oven. Looks delicious. I'll give you a close-up of all that meat and pickles and cheese right in there. Looks awesome. So we're gonna cut this up and we'll do a taste test in a little bit. All right, you guys, our White Castle casserole is done. I'll give you guys a shot of it. That's the way it looks. It's good in there. So let's give it a taste test. I gotta try to scoop a little with one hand here. There we go. Break it up a little. Try not to drop it. I shoulda. What fun is that? Here we go. White Castle casserole. Let's do this. Let's not. Take two. Oh my God. Wow. Mystery guest. Guys, I'm telling you right now, this tastes almost exactly like a White Castle. In fact, it's a little bit better because the croissant dough is more buttery than a White Castle burger bun. It is excellent. And this thing, how long would you say, if you didn't videotape it from start to finish, how long do you think it would take you to cook?
They say perhaps about 10 to 15 minutes because you got to brown the ground beef and then. But once you have the ground beef,
it's like 15 minutes, right? Yeah. It is 5 minutes to put it together, and then 15 minutes baking in the oven, and that's it. This thing, I'm telling you right now, it's a 10 all day. That is the White Castle casserole. Crescent rolls, ground beef, pickles, mustard, and cheese. That's it. Really simple, really easy. This has been Cooking with Big Daddy and the Mystery Guest. Until next time, we thank you for watching. And remember, folks, let's see if I can do this without dropping it this time. Yes. Before you take the first bite, yeah, you got to stuff it in your pie hole. And we're again. We're out.